Hi guys, so this is just a video to show how to use GoalSeek and Solver in Microsoft Excel. In this video, we're going to solve the Colebrook White Darcy Weisbach equation used in hydraulics that's shown here. So first off, we just make some nice table of whatever we want to do to make it look pretty. Then we take an already solved problem that we actually know the values for and just type it in here, and then obviously we also know this value, but we're not going to show it now because that's what we want to calculate. This method works to calculate all these variables if it is necessary, but for now we're just first going to do this. So firstly, let's do it by using GoalSeek. Um, what we want to set up first is this little block over here. We just take the left-hand side of the equation, which is in this case only the velocity, which is also unknown at the moment. And we also want to tell it that side, the whole equation on the right-hand side, which is this whole thing. And I actually already typed out this equation. It just takes quite a while. Just make sure you type this in correctly, because if you don't, it's not going to work. But that's taking off here. Then what we want to do for GoalSeek, which you will see why in a moment, we want to take the difference between the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So we just take the left-hand side minus the right-hand side, or the right-hand side minus the left-hand side, whatever we want it. And then we just put in some value for velocity. It doesn't matter what it is. Let's say 13. I hope it's not unlucky. But then we go to the data tab and we say what if analysis, and then we select GoalSeek. So GoalSeek is really easy. You basically just, that is your goal you want to achieve, your cell of which you want to achieve a goal for. But in this case, we want to set cell, that one, the check one, to the value of 0, because if your left hand side is equal to your right hand side, then your difference between them will be 0, and that's what we want at the end of the day. And then we want to be changing our unknown value, which is our velocity in this case. So then we just click OK. Then you see your check is 0, and you find your solution, which in this case is 2,541 meters per second. So let's say now we take other values. Let's change this to 2 meters per second. I don't know why it's doing that. Anyway. And then let's say we want to calculate the HF. We don't know what's our HF at the moment. Now we put in just some value for HF, but we know that we don't know what it is at the moment. Now we do the same process, except we just go to what if analysis GoalSeek. Now again, we want to set that cell equal to 0 by changing our unknown cell, which in this case is our friction head loss. And then when we did this, we just click OK, and then we get our friction head loss as that value. You see our check cell is just a little bit off, but that's really marginal. So our answer should be fine. If you're working to about 2 decimal places or whatever. So that's how to use GoalSeek. Next up is a bit more, how can I say, advanced method. Let's just change this back to the values we actually know, which and again, let's calculate our velocity, which just should be some value. At the moment, it's not correct, obviously. Now we simply go to the data tab, and then we go to Solver. Now Solver is a bit more complicated, but it's still really easy. So our objective in this case would be, once again, to set that cell to the value of 0. It's basically the same method as GoalSeek, but for some reason it does something different. But Then we also have to say what cells we are changing. Once again, the same as our previous one by using GoalSeek, but now we're just using solver. And then we did all this. Now we just say solve, found the solution. And you can recall that that was the same solution that we got from our example when we used GoalSeek, so everything is fine. So let's, for instance, change this again to, let's make it 1.5 meters per second, and now we want to calculate our HF if we do that. Okay, let's change it up. Let's calculate our pipe diameter if we know our HF is 150. Now you can just change it, or you can just leave it like it is. It just needs to be some value pointing nothing. Then we go to solver again, and we say our objective. It still has our same cells as the previous example. So it's once again, we want to set that cell to a value of 0 by changing. Now we just need to change this because it's not our velocity anymore, it's our pipe diameter. And then press enter. So we found the solution, which is in this case 0.1344 for practical purposes. But yeah, that's how to use Microsoft Excel using the GoalSeek and solver functions to calculate the Colebrook White Darcy Weisbach equation.